creation of gods. Long before the gods appeared in the dim past and counted ages ago, there is only the formless confusion of chaos, brooded over by unbroken darkness. At last, two children were born to this shapeless nothingness. Night was the child of chaos, and so was Erebus, the unfathomable depth where death dwells. In the whole universe there was nothing else. All was black, empty, silent, endless. And then a marvel of marvels came to pass in some mysterious way. From this horror of blank, boundless vacancy, the best of all things came into being. From darkness and from death, love was born. His name was Eros, and with his birth, order and beauty began to banish blind confusion. Night, whom we call Nyx, bore Ether and Hemera, with their union with Erebus. Ether was the light, and Hemera was the day. From the depths of chaos, Gaia the beautiful rose up, broad-bosomed. She is the steadfast base of all things. She is the earth who first bore the starry heaven, known as Uranus, equal to herself, to cover her on all sides and to be a home forever for the blessed gods. Sons of heaven and earth. Uranus then became Gaia's mate. Such union bore them children. But they were monsters. They had the shattering, overwhelming strength of earthquake and hurricane and volcano. 3 of them were monstrously huge and strong, each 100 hands and 50 heads. They were called the Hecatoncheires. The 3 others were given the name Cyclops, because each had only one enormous eye, as round and as big as a wheel in the middle of the forehead. The Cyclops too were gigantic, towering up like mighty mountain crags and devastating in their power. Last came the Titans. There were a number of these, and they were in no way inferior to the others in size and strength. But they were not purely destructive. Several of them were even beneficent. It was natural to think of these fearful creations as the children of Mother Earth, brought forth from her dark depths when the world was young. But it is extremely odd that they were also the children of heaven. However, Uranus was a very poor father. He hated the Hecatoncheires, even though they were his sons, and as each was born, he pushed them back into Gaia's womb. The Cyclops and the Titans, on the other hand, he left at large. And Gaia, enraged at the maltreatment of her other children, appealed to them to help her. But only one was bold enough, the Titan CRONUS. He lay in wait for his father and wounded him terribly. He castrated him and threw his severed testicles into the sea that formed into a sea foam from whence Aphrodite was born. The giants, the 4th race of monsters, sprang up from his blood. From this same blood too the Mylae, a race of tree nymphs, and the Furies known as Erinyes were born. The Erinyes served to punish sinners, but they were terrible in appearance, with writhing snakes for hair and eyes that wept tears of blood. The other monsters were finally driven from the earth, but not the Erinyes. As long as there was sin in the world, they could not be banished. From that time on, for untold ages, Cronus was lord of the universe, with her sister Queen Rhea. When Cronus had learned that one of his children was destined someday to dethrone him, he thought to go against fate by swallowing them as soon as they were born. But when Rhea bore Zeus, his sixth child, she succeeded in having him secretly carried off to Crete, where she gave her husband a great stone wrapped in swaddling clothes, which he supposed was the baby, and he swallowed it down accordingly. When Zeus was grown, he forced his father with the help of his grandmother Gaia to disgorge the stone together with his 5 other siblings. The Throne of Cronus. There followed a terrible war between Cronus, who was helped by his Titan brothers, against Zeus, who stood with his 5 brothers and sisters, a war that almost wrecked the universe. The Titans were conquered partly because Zeus released from their prison the 100-handed monsters who fought for him with their irresistible weapons, thunder, lightning, and earthquake, and also because one of the sons of the Titan Iapetus, whose name was Prometheus and who was very wise, took sides with Zeus. Prometheus' brother Atlas, however, suffered a still worse fate. He was condemned to bear on his back forever the cruel strength of the crushing world and the vault of the sky. Upon his shoulders the great pillars that hold apart the earth and heaven, a load not easy to be borne. Bearing this burden, he stands forever before the place that is wrapped in clouds and darkness, where night and day drew near and greet one another. Even after the Titans were conquered and crushed, Zeus was not completely victorious. Earth gave birth to her last and most frightful offspring, a creature more terrible than any that had gone before. His name was Typhon, a flaming monster with 100 heads, but Zeus had now got the thunder and lightning under his control. They had become his weapons, used by no one else. He struck Typhon down with a bolt that never sleeps. Thunder with breath of flame, into his very heart the fire burned. His strength was turned to ashes, and now he lies a useless thing. Still later, one more attempt was made to unseat Zeus. The giants rebelled, but by this time the gods were very strong. The giants were defeated and hurled down to Tartarus, and the victory of the radiant powers of heaven over the brutal forces of earth was complete. And yet, there were no human beings, but the world, now cleared of the monsters, was ready for mankind. It was a place where people could live in some comfort and security without having to fear the sudden appearance of a titan or a giant. The earth was believed to be a round disk divided into 2 equal parts by the sea. Around the earth flowed the great river, Ocean, never troubled by wind or storm. On the farther bank of Ocean were mysterious beings, the Cimmerians, but whether east, west, north, or south, no one knew. It was a land cloud-wrapped and misty, where the light of day was never seen, upon which the shining sun never looked with his splendor, not when he climbed through the starry sky at dawn, nor when in the evening he turned toward the earth from the sky. All those who lived across Ocean were exceedingly fortunate. In the remotest north, so far away it was at the back of the north wind, was a blissful land where the Hyperboreans lived. Only a few strangers, great heroes, had ever visited it. Not by ship, nor yet on foot might one find a road to the marvelous meeting place of the Hyperboreans. But the Muses lived not far from them. Such were their ways. For everywhere the dance of maidens swayed, and the clear call of the lyre sounded in the ringing notes of flutes. With golden laurel they bound their hair, and they feasted merrily. In that holy race, sickness and deathly old age had no part. Far to the south was the country of the Ethiopians, of whom we know only that the gods held them in such favor they would sit at joyful banquets with them in their halls. On ocean's bank, too, was the abode of the blessed dead. In that land there is no snowfall, nor much winter, nor any storm of rain. Here, those who kept themselves pure from all wrong came when they left the earth.